Are you considering becoming a stay-at-home mom? Is being a stay-at-home mom the right thing for you? Are you just curious about stay-at-home moms? Are you currently a stay-at-home mom and wondering, well, is this the right decision for me and my family? Welcome to Chats with Shansay, where we discuss everything balancing motherhood, marriage, and womanhood. If you're new here, my name is Shansay. I'm a stay-at-home mom to 4 kids ages 5 and under. I have a 5-year-old, I have twin girls who are 4-year-olds, and I have a 2-year-old. I've been a stay-at-home mom for the last 4 years, and I've also been a working mom. So I have done it all. I've been a full-time working mom with my first. I was a stay-at-home mom with my twins. Went back to work because I really didn't like it. And then once I had my last, I went back to being a stay-at-home mom. I was a working stay-at-home mom, meaning I worked from home during COVID. So when I say I've done it all, I really mean I've done it all. Talk about what a stay-at-home mom is. To me, my definition of a stay-at-home mom is a mom that stays home with their kids. Whether or not they bring in a little extra income can be subjective, but really it's any mom or parent who stays at home with the kids. A working mom would have to be someone who leaves the home to make an income, as opposed to a stay-at-home mom who works in the house as a mom. Being a stay-at-home mom, in my opinion, is a job. Just because it doesn't bring in a financial income, it doesn't mean it's not a job. Because if you were to ask me, it would have to be the hardest job I've ever done. If anybody wants to argue with me whether or not being a stay-at-home mom is a job, I hope they're arguing about how many jobs being a stay-at-home mom entails. Because as a stay-at-home mom, here is really what it looks like. You're the cook. You're the maid, you're the chauffeur, you are the teacher, you are the nurse. You are doing a million jobs at once. I want to start by talking about the cons of being a stay-at-home mom. The first con that most people are going to talk about when it comes to being a stay-at-home mom is the loss of a double income. If you were married or if you have a partner and you were working and your family is used to having the 2 incomes, I can see how this would be the one con that really hits your home. You had 2 incomes, now you have 1. So that could look like having to downsize. Most families, when it comes to income and losing an income, it balances out because childcare is so pricey to begin with in most areas in the US. To me, if you were to ask me what the biggest con of being a stay-at-home mom is, it's the loss of your career advancement. It's the loss of your career. Before you become a stay-at-home mom, if you're currently in a career where you feel like you're prospering, where you feel like you really haven't hit the nail in your career and you have so much more to go, it's worth considering the years you're going to lose in your career. It is a sacrifice. You will sacrifice any career advancement you were to have. You will sacrifice, of course, the income, but you're also going to sacrifice the experience. If you were working as a lawyer in a field and you left to be a stay-at-home mom for 5 years, I guarantee you getting a job at the same position you left is going to be harder. And most moms end up having to get a position that is lower than where they left off. I personally had to go through this when I first went back to work, and it was only after a year. I could not land the same position I had or higher. I ended up having to take a step back in my career just after a year. So imagine what that looks like if you're a stay-at-home mom for over a decade. Not only will people not want to hire you because you have allegedly no experience, because let's face it, there's no better experience than being a mom, but our society is just not ready for that conversation. But allegedly you have no experience. Your resume is going to be overlooked. It's going to be heavily overlooked. So that is a big sacrifice when you choose to become a stay-at-home mom. Now, most of us are thinking you'll be a stay-at-home mom until your kids go off to preschool, etc., etc. That heavily depends on how back-to-back you have your kids. For example, I have 4 kids. My youngest one is 2. My oldest is 5, which would mean I've been home for 5 years, and to wait for my youngest to go to preschool, that is another 3 years. So it's still totaling up to about 10 years of being a stay-at-home parent. You can see how that, doesn't always add up. Of course, if you have 1 kid, this could look very different for you, but that is worth considering. Another thing to consider before becoming a stay-at-home mom is honestly how society looks at you. Society is in this weird place where they still consider stay-at-home moms basically just people who are at home doing absolutely nothing. There is this weird limbo where you are at home doing absolutely everything and getting no recognition for it in the same time. I remember being at a work function with my husband, and the minute I said I was a stay-at-home mom, everyone basically just looked at me like, oh, wow, okay. How nice, must be nice, how fun. They look at me like my value immediately decreases, as if I'm not a valuable member of society, when it's in fact the opposite. I am shaping the minds of our future generation, but it's a society doesn't take that as a job, which is ironic because teachers have that career. Because teachers are respected, nurses are respected, and so are nannies. But however, when we do it as moms, society just looks at us as if you're not doing nothing at home. So you're gonna have to get used to that. I'm not saying society is not changing, not moving forward. However, I feel like we are far away from society being able to give us, okay, our flowers as stay-at-home moms. So you're gonna have to get used to, well, kind of being overlooked for all that you do as a mom. Another con of being a stay-at-home mom, it is very easy to lose yourself in this journey. It is very easy to become about everybody other than yourself. It is very easy to feel that the work that you do just doesn't do anything. It is very easy to lose yourself in this journey called motherhood. It is very easy to become all about your kids and all about your family and do absolutely nothing for you. It takes so much effort to spend time with yourself and do things for yourself. You can quickly become all things mom. That is a big thing to consider. As much as I would love to say that you get to a place where you discover yourself and you find all these things, it takes a very long time sometimes, and it takes a lot of discovering. So it is very easy to lose yourself in motherhood. Another con to consider when becoming a stay-at-home mom is the loss of adult conversation. This one hit me hard. The first time I became a stay-at-home mom, I genuinely think I failed at it or did not want to do it because I was tired of talking to a baby. My husband went off to work and came back home at 5. He came back home. He only had a few hours to spend with his child, which as he should. It's very limited adult conversation. It can be very mentally draining to spend all day talking to a baby, let alone toddlers. It can be extremely mentally draining to talk to just toddlers. It is also extremely hard to find adults on the same schedule as you, which leads me to another con, making mom friends. And this is gonna have to be a whole video on its own because when I tell you making mom friends is so difficult, I don't understand why. I know there's apps now, but I don't know, I'm skeptical about the apps. Another con I will have to say when it comes to being a stay-at-home mom is physically taking care of yourself. Yo, I know right now I got a little face of makeup on. I have a shirt that's not a pajama, but it took me a while to get into the mentality of saying, get up, put on some clothes. Do not spend all day in your jammies. It's so easy. It is so easy to not take care of yourself as a stay-at-home mom. Wake up in the morning, whether you're getting the kids ready for school, whether you're getting the whole house ready for school, making breakfast, making dinner, making this, you find yourself so kind of buried under the things that are required to be a stay-at-home mom that you forget to take care of yourself. Well, these seem like a lot of cons in becoming a stay-at-home mom. I'm just trying to keep it real with y'all and letting you know what it can look like being a stay-at-home mom. Now, the pros of being a stay-at-home mom, baby. The pros, honey. The number one pro of being a stay-at-home mom, in my opinion, getting to spend time with your little humans. I will forever be grateful for the opportunity to watch my kids grow on a daily basis. I remember when I was at work and having this feeling that my heart is split in half. I will be at work, but I won't really fully be focused on work because I am worried about my kids. I miss my kids. And I always had this underlying guilt. Not that I think moms who work outside of the home should feel guilty, but personally, I felt so much guilt working outside of the home when my son was so young. And living in the US, we don't really get that many days off for maternity. So the idea of leaving my child only at like 4 months to go work, it used to break me in half. So I'm very thankful that I got to be there for all the little moments, for all the mess, for all the chaos, for all the meltdowns, because it really is one of those things where it's hard in the moment. But then when you look back, you're like, I got to be there. And I'm always sending my husband videos during the day, and I see how sad he is when he gets to miss some of these moments. So I am grateful for those moments. Another pro of being a stay-at-home mom is, as weird as this sounds, is the opportunity to develop yourself outside of corporate America or outside of your career. This one took me a while to land, but it has been the biggest blessing when becoming a stay-at-home mom. The opportunity to find your passion outside of work. Because when you think about it, living in the US especially, a lot of our personality and a lot of our self-worth is tied within what we do for work. The first question we ask each other is, what do you do for work? What do you do for a living? Because a lot of our sense of who we are, our sense of self, is tied into corporate America. When you take that away, you're left with this sense of, okay, so who am I without this? Who am I without this degree, without this career? Who am I outside of that? Being a stay-at-home mom has allowed me to find and discover myself outside of all of it. Now, does this take being intentional with figuring out who you are and finding out who you are? 100% it does. But is it 100% worth it when you do? Absolutely. Because it is an opportunity to not only discover who you are outside of all of that, but get to know your passions, your hobbies, build a life outside of corporate America. Because right now, if you ask me, I would never be right here talking to you guys if I was still working in corporate America. I would never have discovered my passion for content creating and social media had I still been working in corporate America. So I am eternally grateful for this opportunity because I now feel like I am more centered. I am more aware of being intentional with myself. Another big pro is, of course, saving money. We do end up saving money by not having 4 kids in childcare at the same time. Now, granted, at the moment in our family, my 3 oldest are in private preschools and my youngest is home with me. And like I mentioned earlier, I am a stay-at-home mom who outsources, which will definitely have to be another thing to discuss when it comes to finding this time to discover yourself outside of corporate America. It's finding that balance. And me personally, finding that balance meant outsourcing. And we can have a whole other discussion about how to outsource, what I outsource. If you guys want to, I am happy to do it on the next Chats with Chansey. Really do save money when you have someone staying home. Another really big pro is the career advancement your partner gets when they don't have to worry about where the kids are. My husband has said this multiple times, but the peace of mind he has being at work, knowing that our kids are being taken care of by me, is irreplaceable. He said it multiple times because now he gets the support of a stay-at-home mom. Me sacrificing my career to be a stay-at-home mom advances my husband's career because I'm home with the kids. He gets to go to work. He gets to take work trips. He gets to advance his career without the worry of his family because I'm here to handle it. Being a stay-at-home mom means that I get to handle a kid's appointments so he doesn't have to take time off to work to go to the doctor's appointments. It means I get to handle the little things that come up with having kids in preschool so he doesn't have to. All of those things allow my husband to advance his career, which internally makes our family more money. So being a stay-at-home mom is a big pro for not only me, but for my husband or your partner as well. Huge pro when it comes to being a stay-at-home mom is obviously what your kids benefit from you being a stay-at-home mom. Kids who come from a family with stay-at-home moms are going to perform better academically. You get to be the primary parent, giving your kids as much positive influence as you want. This is a huge one for me because I really want to be there for all of the little things. I want to be the type of parent that gets to show up for all the little school plays, all of the little random school presentations. I want to be able to take my kids to all the activities. I want to be as present as possible. And it absolutely has a huge effect on how my kids get to grow up. The quality of life my kids get because I'm a stay-at-home mom it's irreplaceable. You cannot buy that. I know that I get to be there. I get to take them to parks. I get to be there doing any single activity. I get the flexibility of being an extremely present parent because I can. Another pro is really having that flexibility to do things during the day. It's very incredible to be able to get up after dropping off the kids and maybe having one of those days where I don't want to do anything and spending the day in bed. I love having the flexibility of running to the groceries, running errands, having the flexibility of do with your day as you please and plan your day as you please. It's unmatched. That is a pro I do not want to give up. It's extremely amazing having that flexibility. And quite frankly, it's one of those things where you don't even realize that you miss until you go back to corporate America or work and you're like, oh, shoot, now I gotta be somewhere and answer to somebody. Ooh, baby. No, thank you. And of course, being your own boss. Because around this house, around these walls, I'm the boss. Period blank. Except for when I'm not, because my husband's really the boss. But neither here nor there. You know what I'm saying? Like being your own boss, that's a pro. It really is a pro. Now, later on, once you've developed a really good routine, you've gotten yourself together, and you have gotten to your soft stay-at-home mom life era, if I may, then you can really start reaping the benefits of being a stay-at-home mom. Then we can really start discovering your social life as a stay-at-home mom. Then we can really take all of those cons and turn them into pros once we learn how to really navigate this thing called being a stay-at-home mom. And that is what I'm here for. When it comes to being a stay-at-home mom, it takes a lot to come to a place where you can balance this thing called being a stay-at-home mom. Now, these are just the pros and cons of being a stay-at-home mom, but there is so much more to being a stay-at-home mom. And I am so excited to continue these chats with you, because the whole point is to get to a space where we are balancing being a stay-at-home mom, being a woman, being a wife. We want to get to a point where we are balancing this beautiful journey all together. Now, depending on where you're at, I really hope you stay, because that is what I'm here for, bestie. That is what I'm here for. We are going to go through this together. I really hope this video was helpful on making your decision on whether or not to be a stay-at-home mom. But please believe me when I tell you there's so much more to it, and I'm so excited to cover it with you. We are going to discuss how to get there, how to get to a space where we are balancing motherhood, marriage, self-care, and womanhood. We're going to get to a place where we take all of the cons of being a stay-at-home mom and turn them into pros, because that's really where I'm at right now. If you were to ask me what are some cons of being a stay-at-home mom, not many, sweetie, not many. And that's because I'm not new to this. I'm true to this. I've learned a few tricks here and there in my journey to being a stay-at-home mom, and I am excited to share them with you on the next episode of Chats with Shansay. Please leave all of your questions below. I am open to talking with you. I am open to any questions you might have when it comes to balancing motherhood, marriage, and self-care. And don't forget to subscribe, like, and join me on this journey. And I cannot wait to see you on the next episode of Chats with Shansay.